Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the, I don't know, fifth or fourth episode of the Clients for
Probably.
Creatives podcast. I already lost track, but we are back today with Greg. So, welcome, Greg.
Welcome.
And yeah, today we are going to be covering a couple pretty interesting topics that I think are more relevant than ever. So, the main first topic that we want to get started on is kind of like what's happening in the financial markets right now. If you guys are into crypto or stocks or even just like housing, anything investments related, which you probably are if you are watching this channel or you're interested in this kind of content. Like what's happening and what you should really do about it or how you should approach it, especially if you are young. Maybe you don't like, obviously it's a different case if you are 30, 40-year-old with a big net worth, like high net worth. But if you're just young, you're just starting out, how you should approach this current crash that's happening. I mean, people say this every year, right? That the stock market is going to crash this year. But it seems like, we are closer and closer to it finally happening and the next recession kind of term playing out. So we wanted to both share our thoughts on this. So I'm first gonna get started by this and how you should look at this if you're young, you're just starting out. And then Greg's also, gonna share his view on it. So first of all, what I think is if you are young, you're anywhere from whatever, like 14 to 25, even up to like your late 20s. I'm not saying you're old after that, but if you're in that boat, and you just finished with school and you're starting your business, or you're already running a smaller operation, or even if you're still in school and trying to start your business, I think you should pay attention to what the market is doing, but I think where your main focus should always be is creating a cash flow business for yourself. Because the truth is, like, nobody really knows what's happening in the stock market or crypto. And if you're if your whole plan to get wealthy or make a lot of money is to buy a certain crypto coin or do a certain like short-term trade or whatever, I think most people are going to fail miserably at that, or you have very, very slim chances of actually succeeding with that. And where I've seen the most amount of young people making like substantial amount of money and actually like kind of predictably creating wealth. And the key here is predictably, like you want to raise your chances to as high as possible, right? And not really make it out to be this lucky thing, is building a cash flow business. So whether that be building a personal brand that generates ad revenue, affiliate income, all that, or whether it's building an agency, or even if you're doing like super high ticket freelancing, the point is you want to build something that generates you like a predictable amount of cash flow every single month. And then you still want to invest. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest or anything like that. But what I think you should focus on is building a business that you can scale up to 7 or multi 7 figures in a few years, and something that other people have done as well. So it's like a proven thing that works, right? And then, live off of 10 to 20% of your income, and then invest the rest into the different, markets and whatever you have the most amount of knowledge and conviction in. So that is my point of view on this. And the way you should look at this crash, to be honest, that's happening or that's, coming is, in my opinion, try to look at it as an opportunity, because it is going to really weed out the weak players in every single like industry. So all the shit agencies are going to die off that can deliver results for their clients. All the shit coaches are going to die off. All the bad YouTube channels, basically in all different sectors, the weak players are going to get wiped out, and the ones that are actually really good at what they're doing are just going to get stronger. And also, if you do have some money, or if you're, starting to make some serious money, or considerable amount, then this is the best, chance that you have at actually getting a kickstart. Because when the market is down, everybody's panicking. That's when you should start buying up some things. Obviously, do your research and all that, but that's when you can get those crazy 5-10x multiples in just a few years worth of time. So that's my point of view on this. But what about you, Greg? Like, what do you think about all the panic that's happening right now in both crypto stocks, like everywhere?
Yeah. So first thing I want to say is kind of it ties back with what you said at the beginning, is that if you're not making like a ton of money right now, you should definitely focus on building a profit like cash flow business. I remember like actually when I started, my agency, and like a few months later, I basically got like interested in crypto a bit. So I started investing in crypto. But the thing is, like after a month or two, I was a bit, I lost a bit of money, but nothing like substantial. And I decided to like sell it off because I think like every beginner can kind of relate to that. Once you get interested in crypto, you basically invest in some coins. And like you spend a ton of time just like reading about those coins, checking your portfolio, just refreshing,
Yep.
seeing the numbers go up and down and up and down. And yeah, so basically what I did, I sold all of that just because, I thought, yeah, I want to have a full focus and clarity on my business. So like, let's fuck this for now. Like, let's focus on, just like building my business. And, I just like basically, got rid of all the crypto, got back in my business. And, this is where I also saw a good growth in my business, so I think if you're just starting, like you shouldn't even like be really interested. Maybe you can read a bit and stuff like that just to like, once the right time comes, you already know some things, like that would probably be a good idea. But just like don't think, like that you can make it with just crypto. Like crypto is not the way to build wealth. I mean, if you have a profitable like cash flow business, you can then get interested in crypto, invest, all that stuff, and that's gonna be good for sure. Now the thing with crypto is, with everything that's happening right now, you probably heard about like all the crash, especially like the Luna crash. I think that like even like Luna crash actually caused the whole like market crash with crypto. But yeah, even I got a funny story here. So I actually invested in Luna like a few months back. I invested like not that much actually, but like also not like I think it was somewhere around like 7-8K, but
Mm-hmm.
it went up to like it went up like 150%. So like I made 2.5x ROI like ROI here, and yeah, so I got like to up to like 70K with Luna, and I didn't sell it, so I lost like 70K in the last few days, kind of
Mm-hmm.
here. And so yeah, overall I invested in crypto. I'm investing just in crypto, so I can't talk about like stocks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I invest just in crypto. Up to this point, I invested, I think, around like 25K ish, somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And yeah, I'm like at like 7-8K right now. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of bad, but yeah, like the like you mentioned, when the crash comes, like you should be in like a buying mode. Basically, this is a good time to buy because everything is discounted. So I'm not sure if like the bottom is in already, so I'm probably gonna just wait a bit. But the plan to recover through from that loss, basically to invest more in crypto, when basically during those times of when it's down. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So
precision,
what's your
yeah, yeah.
like, what are your key takeaways from, well, first of all, losing out on a good amounts of, I mean, unrealized
Mhm.
gains on Luna, and also just your like, how did your investing style kind of change since you first started out, like putting some money into crypto, for example, and now, like, how differently do you approach it compared to when you started?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I'm gonna after that, I learned that I definitely need to like more diversify because like I said, like I probably had like majority of my money in like two coins. One was Luna actually, and then maybe just a small amount in other coins. So definitely diversifying your portfolio is key here. But when I started, I think the style is pretty much the same. I'm not like a day trader, I'm not a swing trader or anything like that. what I do is pretty much I just, when I have cash, I invest it and just for the long term. So I'm not also like worried about those losses. I don't feel like, bad about them. Because still the plan is to have them for at least like few years even. We'll see. But the thing is, what I learned the most is that no one knows what's going to happen with the market. So there are predictions. Some people predict Bitcoin is going to go to like 200K by the end of the year. Some people say, oh, it's going to go to like 10K by the end of the year. And probably no one's going to be right. It may
Yeah.
be still at like 30K or something. So here's the thing, even if people are like years in crypto, like they can't predict it. No one predicted, like maybe some people predicted the Luna crash, but all the like crypto Twitter guys or like just YouTubers, like they talk about different scenarios, but no one's really like know like if that's gonna happen. Like even the predictions, the technical analysis, like all of that stuff, it's not like 100%. If this pattern is gonna show up, like 100% it's gonna go up. Like no, it's never like that.
Yeah.
We have unexpected situations, so definitely the key is to like kind of be prepared for everything and expect the unexpected, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Also probably take profits when you make,
Yeah, yeah,
2.5x in a
definitely.
few
That's the
months.
key. Like you can't go broke taking profits. I heard this.
So basically, here's what I would say overall about investing when you're just starting out. Like either until you're doing 5 to 10K, like don't spend too much time on it, in my opinion. Now, what you should do, I think, is like still have like a long-term growth portfolio, but don't check the numbers, right? Like that's what you said in the beginning. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I did as well. When I first started investing, I was like checking the price every hour, and you're wasting so much mental bandwidth on that. It's actually crazy. It's like a huge amount of time and energy being wasted on that. So if you want to invest, which I still recommend you do, and to have like a 30-40 year old investment like plan and have an account for long-term investing, in long-term, like an S&P 500 or something like that, just for safety net. Like put $500 or $1,000 in it every month, automate it. Like don't even look at it, don't even check it like ever. It's just going to be something that you look at it 20-30 years from now and you see like, oh cool, I have an extra 5 million in the bank for whatever I want to use it. But I just look at that personally as like a safety net. And then I would say, again, until you're not making 10, 20K a month, like don't spend too much time on actually seeking out investment stuff. That's my personal view on it. Focus that energy on building a cash flow business, making it profitable, and then start, investing your money in it. Now, also, don't be, stupid and buy designer clothes with once you start making a little bit of money. Like, yeah, no, save your money, build out first an emergency fund for yourself, save up like 6 to 12 months worth of cash, in my opinion. Then after that, start investing most of your money and spend a little bit on things that you want, and just roll with that. That's my personal point of view. Of course, don't take anything we say for granted, because again, at the end of the day, we are still super young, learning a lot about it. And I think you should also learn about investing and how the markets work and what strategies you could use. Like it's way better to spend time on it than to be ignorant and not learn. But yeah, don't focus too much on it. So that's my point of view on that. And also about the recession market crash, that sort of stuff. Again, just the best thing you can do is focus on having the best product and service that you possibly can in your market. And the strongest players are always gonna stay. And yeah, your volume like might decrease a bit, but you can still win in a scenario like this, because ad rates get cheaper. If you are in advertising, like, and you are the best, you can take advantage of that. And when it comes to just running an agency, like try to, what I say is the best thing you can do is to really minimize the amount of living expenses you have. So don't live like a super, lavish lifestyle that's over your budget. And then you can still be very competitive in your business, because you are not, worried about, oh, I need to spend this much on this and that every single month. So, I mean, that's what I would say. I know it's probably like pretty common sense advice, but what I'm doing for the upcoming like crash and everything is just like really working on my service delivery and all that. I'm focusing all my energy on my output, and like trying to increase the quality of work I'm doing and the volume of work I'm doing. I'm decreasing my lifestyle costs overall. Not like I mean, I already am not living like a super lavish lifestyle, but I'm focusing on it, so I'm not spending too more than I should. And that's mainly it. And I'm learning about new things every single day, and just focusing on what I can control, right? um and sitting on a good amount of cash, so in case anything bad happens, I will be like, even if I don't make a single dollar for the next few years, which is not going to happen, obviously, but I mean, hopefully, but even if that happens, like, I'm fine. I can survive off of that. And that's why I think it's important to build out like a emergency fund for yourself. So yeah, now let's talk a little, or do you have anything else to add on to this topic?
Oh, I think that's all.
Okay. The next kind of thing I wanted to, talk about on this episode, which kind of ties into this, is like self-doubt and worrying. So, most people experience self-doubt quite often anyways, but when you get these kind of quote unquote bad news all the time about how the market is doing bad, like the economy is going to crash, the whole world is going to burn, like that's what you hear basically every 6 months nowadays, or maybe 3 months, like, all the time you're getting hammered, just these negative things from the news, people, television. That's why you should cut most of those things out. I mean, not people, but like, don't watch news, in my opinion. Don't watch television. But yeah, like, this just really accelerates the amount of times most people spend worrying and doubting whether what they are doing is even going to work out, or whether what they are doing is wrong. So what's your personal experience with self-doubt, worrying, kind of like anxiety? And if you have any experience with that, what is your mental framework that you use to kind of get over that and make it stop you from taking action?
So yeah, self-doubt is something that I think everyone experienced to some point. I experienced it mostly when I was starting, so I don't really experience it that often right now. But yeah, I think what I also like, at the beginning, it's very easy to fall into that category, not like fall into like self-doubt and stuff like that, because you're just starting, you maybe don't have experience. You think, oh, even when you create an offer and you think, oh, how can I sell it at like $2,000 per month? Like, who's gonna pay me $2,000 per month? Like it's sort of like those limiting beliefs because of the self-doubt. So it's kind of hard to give like one specific answer to that for me with dealing when it comes to like dealing with self-doubt, because I did experience that. I wasn't the best at dealing with it. And yeah, just sometimes I just, when I experience self-doubt in terms of like, my business, so let's say, service delivery, I'm like not sure if we can deliver results, I'm not like not satisfied with the results. I like to look at like data, So for example, if I see, okay, like I'm not sure if we deliver the results, I just, look at data. Okay, like we generated this client, this much for YouTube, or like this many sales calls. So like, yeah, okay, this is all good, but that's more when it comes to business. I think also very important thing, if you're like a business owner, is you cannot tie yourself to like business, because if something is happening inside your business, like you can have the self-doubt and you can feel like bad about yourself, whereas this is just like one problem inside the business that you need to fix, and everything is good. But yeah, so there's that. And right now what I focus on like more on is just like becoming stronger. So even if the self-doubt comes, I just like do all those different hard things every single day. So even when the self-doubt comes or something like that, I'm just like kind of mentally stronger, so I can deal with it faster, and
Hmm.
don't even like worry about that. How about you? Because I feel like it's a very hard topic for me to talk about.
Yeah, by the way, I will get into that, but that's a great point. Like working on making yourself stronger and your mentality stronger instead of, over stressing about what's happening in the business. Like when you said you just work on the same things every day and making those better, about yourself, can you give us like a couple specific things that you do every day or every week to, or like things that you work on to make yourself stronger instead of relying on,
Hmm.
or like putting all your, like I think the problem is with a lot of people, myself included, is we entrepreneurs often put our self-worth on our business and how much money we are making, and if
Yeah,
anything goes bad in the business, like we start questioning ourselves, not as a person, and
so
not
true.
look at it objectively, instead of like, hey, like I lost a client, it's not the end of the world. Like what we go into a lot of times, I think, is like, oh, my life is over, like I'm a piece of shit, I'm not going to amount to anything, whatever. So what are the things you do to um, place the focus from that to yourself and making yourself stronger as a character and a person?
So yeah, also one thing here is, when basically to prevent those like self-doubt moments, what I do is I just, have my like non-negotiables. So like, when I work every day, like I don't have really that. I don't really have, self-doubt. I don't experience that when I'm, in the trenches working on something, just like, basically taking care of the team, taking care of the clients, improving the service delivery, like working on all of that stuff. Usually when I experience self-doubt is because, basically I'm like slacking a bit. So I
Mm-hmm.
just want to make sure that I'm not slacking. So what I do is basically I'm very like strict with my routine recently, and that also helped me a lot. Like I didn't experience self-doubt in like few months, probably right now, just because, I'm working on my business every single day, waking up at like 5:30, being like strict with the gym, started also boxing. So it's very cool.
Nice.
It's really like, gym is light compared to like boxing trainings. Like it's just so hard, and and then once I do all my boxing session, with my trainer, come to the office, like everything seems so easy. I just like sit. Okay, so here's like some kind of fire, but thinking back about like this boxing training, I'm thinking, oh, like this is so easy, compared to
Yeah,
that. And
I
also
actually
right now,
want to get into
I'm
that.
fortunate enough to like have a good team in place. So also, if there's anything, any problems with clients, I have a team that is taking care of that. So it's good also because at the beginning, when you're just like all alone, you can't even like talk about like something happens bad in your business, and you can't even talk about it with anything, or like you need to deal with it. You are like blamed for everything. Once you have a team, like, oh, there's a problem. Yeah, okay, let's do this, and this. Team is taking care of it. I don't like have this negative impact of like every fire inside the business. Then, and like I said, mainly it's just to keep on working, because if I slack for a week and I just like do a bit of work, then all the things that come out, and I'm gonna doubt myself because of that. So yeah, basically, like I said, also ties back with what I said, becoming mentally stronger with like just being strict with like waking up, training, like all my routines, showing up every single day to work, to my office, working, and also just like, yeah, just like also it's a long journey. I think like trying to untie myself from the business. So right
Mhm.
now I pretty much like treat it as a separate thing. I still experience that what you said, but it's way less than it was at the beginning, because at the beginning it was exactly as you said. I lost a client. I felt so bad about myself.
Yep.
like question everything, and so yeah, that's
Hmm.
pretty much it.
Yeah, that's very powerful, and I totally agree with it. To be honest, um, what I think is the best thing you can do is basically just, like you said, kind of focus on upgrading the character traits and the trust that you have with yourself. Like what you
Definitely.
talked about there, with doing the boxing sessions, going to the gym, like, staying consistent with your promises that you make to yourself. you're really just building the relationship with yourself. And I know that sounds weird, or like it doesn't make sense, but like when people say confidence, what it really is how much can you trust yourself that you are going to do what you say you are going to do, right? And I think this is the most difficult, like genuinely the most difficult things that you can work on as a person, is doing the things that you say you are going to do, right? And following through with the words that you say. And it is something I have struggled with for a very long time, and still struggle with. But it is something I'm actively trying to become better at as well every single day, because I think you're right. Like, this is the best way to overcome self-doubt, insecurity, like anxiety. It's with action, because when you start having those thoughts, it's really just happening when you are inactive and you're not doing anything.
Yes.
And there is a good quote, I'm not sure how it is exactly, but it's basically like the the problems we experience in our head more times than in real life, like or I don't know what's the exact quote, but it's basically like you don't have as many problems or as big problems in real life as you have in your head, or as big you make it out to be in your head. Because when you're not doing anything or you're slacking or whatever, like your brain starts going crazy, because and it's making out your problems to be something bigger than it really is. And when you just start doing things and gaining perspective on how big your problems actually are, when you go out to the real world and you meet other people as well, and you start doing your daily things, like you realize everything is quite all right compared to what I thought in my head. So yeah, I think that's very powerful, and that's what I would say as well, when it comes to overcoming fear and those things. And also just think about it like, what other option do you really have? Like,
Yeah.
when I even have had these questions in my mind in the past, like whether this whole like self-improvement thing is even worth it, or it's gonna be worth it at the end, like is all this effort just going to be wasted? What if it's not gonna turn out well, whatever? Like, I thought about it, and what I came to the conclusion, like the conclusion I came to was, okay, well, what's the other option? Like, am I just not going to work on myself and just slack my whole life and be lazy my whole life? And then what is that going to lead to? Well, is it going to be more pain than the pain I'm experiencing from going to the gym or staying consistent with things, or doing hard things and like sitting down? I mean, again, hard things depends on what you consider hard, but like, sitting down your computer and doing something you're maybe not super excited about at the moment for hours, it's like not easy. It takes discipline. But what is going to be more painful at the end overall? Is it going to be that and doing your daily routine for a long time, or is it going to be the amount of stress and pain you will have and regret you will have from not doing anything for years? Because like everybody knows this, I think, like time passes so quickly, and a year goes by like this, and you can spend a year easily like not doing basically anything. I did that once. Or you can spend a year doing difficult things and improving yourself, and they both pass by just as quickly, in my opinion. And at the end, like, I can now compare. Since I had a year where I was like, I'm not gonna work super hard, I'm just gonna try to enjoy my time here, whatever. And I was miserable, dude. Like, if I compare that year to a year where I was flying all over the place, like doing things, growing the business, working on myself, going to the gym consistently, eating well, sleeping well, like focusing on all these things, I was overall, even though it was always hard in the present, I was always so much happier like throughout the time in that year when I was out there doing stuff. Because at the end of the day, you will always be alone and you will have to sit with the person you are. And I think the question is whether you can look yourself at the end of the day in the mirror and say like, okay, did I at least exert some energy and exert some effort into what I was doing today? And if the answer is yes, then I mean, personally, the way I operate is like, if I at least made some progress towards what I'm trying to get, then I can sleep just fine. But if I didn't do anything,
Yeah.
or I even did some things that, you know, take me like 2 steps back, and there wasn't really a point in it, it wasn't like, if I'm out on a Saturday to party because that's the purpose of that day, for example, like I want to really socialize and enjoy myself and even like get drunk or something, like I will not feel bad about that because I planned that. But if I just waste a day and do things that I shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
randomly, then I can't really look myself at the end of the day and in the mirror and say like, you know, you deserve a good night's sleep today, you did fine. And I'm not saying you should be super hard on yourself, but that's just the reality, in my opinion. Like, the only way you will feel good in your skin over time is if you keep doing things that are hard, that really you can be proud of. I think that's, you know, a so much better feeling than the pleasures that you can get from like small hedonistic things in life.
Yeah. 100% agree.
So yeah, I mean, if you have anything else to add to that, I would love to hear it. But yeah,
Oh, I
maybe.
think you covered everything out. I didn't. So yeah, it's a
All right.
perfect match.
But yeah, I think this is a good point to end this episode on. I really hope that it was, I don't know, interesting or a good conversation to listen to some of you guys who are in similar situations to us. Or even if you're not, like, hope it was insightful or valuable for you. And I guess we'll see you guys in the next episode, right? And until then, by the way, if you're looking to go your agency, like a content agency, creative agency, or you're looking to get more high quality and high ticket freelancing clients, then click the link in the description below. You know, fill out an application. You can talk to us, see whether we can help you out or not. If you're not a good fit, like, we'll tell you. If you are, we'll give you an offer and you can decide whether you want to have us help you grow your biz. So yeah, that's the end. Had to plug it in there at the end. And yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your days. And yeah, take care. Bye.